This video will show you how to create a Turnitin PeerMark assignment in Moodle. Click on the name of your assignment to which you want to add PeerMark for students to peer review the submitted papers. For questions on creating a Turnitin assignment in Moodle, please see the How to Create a Turnitin Assignment in Moodle video. Please note that if you start the peer review process and you have late submissions enabled for the assignment that is to be reviewed, if a student submits the assignment to be reviewed after the PeerMark release date, that student can make a peer review. However, their assignment will not be reviewed by their fellow students. As such, it is best practice to start the peer review after all submissions have been made. Click on the icon to launch PeerMark. Then click the plus sign icon. Name your assignment and put the directions for the peer review here. Enter in the point value of the assignment. Because the grade awarded for the peer review does not go to the Moodle gradebook automatically, you will need to manually add a grade column and enter in the peer review grade there. It is recommended to put that in the directions for the student. Next, enter in the start date for the peer review. The start date should come after the due date of the original paper. Then enter in the due date for the review and the peer feedback available date. This date is when your students who were reviewed are allowed to see what their peers thought of their paper. If you need to cancel a peer review, you can click here. Please do not click this button as it will create another peer review assignment. Next, click on Additional Settings. Under Additional Settings, do not choose to award maximum points as the grade does not go anywhere. You can choose to allow students to view their reviewers' names and the submitters' names. You can allow students that did not submit a paper to review a paper. You can choose how many reviews each student will be given. You can allow students to choose their own papers to review. Please note that if you allow students to choose their own papers to review, not all papers may get a review. You can also require the students to make a self-review. When you are done, click Save and Continue. Next, click the Peermark Questions tab. You can add existing Peermark questions from your library or choose to add a new question. To add from a library, choose the library from the drop-down and then choose the question or questions you want to add. Then click Add Selected Questions. To add questions that are not already in a library, choose the question type. Free response or scale are your choices. For free response, enter in the question and set a minimum answer length. Then click Save. You can also choose Scale as a question type. Enter in the question and choose the scale size. 2 to 5 are your choices. Be sure to indicate which is the lowest value and which is the highest value. For clarity purposes, the format of the scale questions should be explicit. For example, your question should state, rate this paper's overall readability. 1, unreadable, 2, somewhat readable, 3, readable, 4, not bad, 5, very readable. Then scroll down and click Save. The questions will show once they are saved. You can choose to save your questions to a library if you wish. To add them to a library, choose an existing library or choose to create a new library. If you create a new library, be sure to name it and save it. You can also choose to delete an existing library. You can choose to reorder your review questions. And if needed, you can also delete individual questions or edit them. Once a PeerMark assignment start date has passed, the questions cannot be edited, nor can new questions be added. Next, choose the Distribution tab. You can see a list of your students. You can also see how many reviews have been assigned to each student by the system. You can choose to pair the authors manually by clicking the blue plus button, or to exclude a student from making a review by clicking the red minus button. If you want to pair authors manually, click on the student's name, then click Confirm. If you roll over the information icon, you can see who the student was paired with. If you assign students manually, it will show next to the word Forced. If you have assigned one peer review for the students, this becomes their one peer review. If you need to unpair students, click the blue minus button. If you continue pairing students for the peer review, please be aware that the student list to choose from will include all the students' names, not just the ones that have not been paired yet. If you allow Turnitin to pair up the students automatically, you will not see who they are paired with when you hover over the information icon. It will say None Assigned, even if they have been assigned a student. Click Close. You will be taken back to the main screen.